Chosen one. Something in the air has shifted. You can feel it even if you can't name it. The quiet tension, the invisible alert in your spirit. There's someone new around you. Someone who came dressed in light but carries the shadows of hidden intent. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That subtle unease when they speak too sweetly, when their eyes linger too long, when their presence drains you instead of lifting you. God said, do not trust that new person. Be still. This is not paranoia. This is divine discernment. You are not crazy for feeling something off. The holy whispers are often quiet, but when the chosen one ignores them, storms begin to form. There is danger in trusting too fast. There is wisdom in waiting. There is safety in silence. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. What you're about to hear is not coincidence. It's confirmation. God brought you to this message because your spirit needed clarity. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. This is your sign, your alignment, your proof that heaven sees what you can't yet understand. Stay until the end, because something in this message is the exact answer your heart has been seeking. There are people who appear suddenly in the path of the chosen one. They come with perfect timing, almost too perfect, as if sent by destiny. But not all destiny is divine. Some are distractions disguised as blessings. They speak your language, mirror your wounds, and echo your dreams, so you lower your guard. They study your softness before they approach, but the moment you let them close, something shifts in your peace. Your energy starts feeling heavier. Your thoughts scatter. You begin to question yourself. That's the signal. That's how God warns you, through the disturbance of your inner calm. The chosen ones carry light, and that light draws both the lost and the deceptive. You must learn to separate empathy from access. Just because someone needs your warmth doesn't mean they deserve your trust. Some souls are sent to test your discernment, to see if you'll protect what's sacred or hand it away in the name of kindness. They know your heart is rare. They know your patience runs deep. But God said, be still. Don't rush to call someone your friend just because they smiled in your season of loneliness. Don't open your world too quickly. Stillness is your shield. Silence is your power. Listen closely. Every chosen one faces this crossroad. You will meet someone who feels like an answered prayer, but behaves like a quiet warning. They'll say the right words. They'll admire your journey. They'll promise to walk with you. But God's Spirit will keep whispering, not this one. The challenge is, you'll want to believe the best in them. You'll want to see light where there's shadow. But discernment is not judgment. It's protection. You're being trained to see beneath masks, to recognize energy before evidence. And the moment you sense that still, divine voice saying, wait, obey it. Do not question it. It may be saving your destiny from delay. In this season, your silence will speak louder than any explanation. Your distance will reveal more than confrontation ever could. The people meant for you will never be threatened by your caution. They will honor your boundaries instead of testing them. God said, do not trust that new person. Be still, because when you stay still, truth exposes itself. Pretenders grow impatient. The false cannot stand the calm of the chosen one. Stay quiet long enough, and you'll watch every mask begin to slip. You can feel it, can't you, chosen one? That quiet warning in your soul, like a whisper carried through your bloodstream. You meet someone new, and suddenly the air feels different, almost charged, almost too perfect. They say the right things, move with a rhythm that mirrors your own, and you begin to think, maybe this is divine. But deep inside, your spirit trembles. God said, do not trust that new person. Be still, because what glitters in the beginning often fades in the truth. Some people are not sent to bless you. They are sent to study you, to see how your light operates, how your heart opens, and where your weakness hides. You must learn that not every smile is sanctuary. Not every compliment is connection. Some are camouflage. You are not here by coincidence. You didn't stumble upon this message. It found you at the exact moment your heart needed confirmation. You've been asking for clarity, and this is it. Write your warmest wish in the comments and release it with the number 99. It's a divine code of completion and alignment. You've reached the point where your intuition is awakening. If your spirit is stirring, if you feel chills as you hear these words, don't ignore it. Like this video now, claim your awareness. Subscribe, because this space was built for souls like yours. You belong here, and your growth starts now. Sometimes, the enemy won't come as darkness. They will come dressed in empathy. They'll listen to your pain, echo your wounds, and call it understanding. But real understanding doesn't need performance. It feels safe. The false kind, however, feels heavy once the conversation ends. The chosen ones are being watched by both heaven and hidden eyes. You are marked by divine frequency, and that makes you both a target and a miracle. So when someone new suddenly gravitates toward your light, pause before you welcome them in. Not because you're fearful, but because you've matured. Because your peace is too sacred to gamble. God will sometimes allow the wrong ones to approach you, not to harm you, but to teach you how to see, to train your discernment, to prepare you for greater connections that require higher awareness. Every deceptive smile, every false compliment, every empty promise, it's part of your spiritual education. You are not naive. You are evolving. You are learning that love without discernment becomes self-destruction. And this time, God is whispering, be still. Let time reveal who's truly for you. Stillness is not weakness. It's wisdom clothed in peace. The new person might look like destiny, but heaven sees their intentions before you do. Their words may sound like harmony, but their spirit may carry noise. So don't rush to define what's unfolding. Sit back, observe, listen with your soul, not your emotions. God's timing exposes everything. When the chosen one stays still, the truth begins to speak louder than words. And soon, you'll see who was sent by love and who was sent by distraction. The light you carry will always attract attention, but it's your stillness that filters the genuine from the false. Remember this: silence is not emptiness. It's the sound of heaven rearranging the unseen on your behalf. The silence is your new weapon, chosen one. When God says, "Be still," it's not a suggestion, it's divine strategy. You've been moving through a spiritual battlefield disguised as everyday life. That new person who appeared out of nowhere with a story too synchronized with yours is not a coincidence. They came at a time when you were vulnerable, curious, maybe even lonely. They offered understanding, attention, warmth. But God saw deeper. He saw how their energy shifted when you spoke about your faith, how their eyes dimmed when you mentioned your dreams, how their tone changed when you spoke of purpose. You are not imagining it. What your spirit discerned was truth wrapped in disguise. The enemy always studies what he cannot destroy. You've been feeling this inner tension lately, the push and pull between trusting and protecting. That's your spirit wrestling with discernment. Every chosen one goes through this, the test of trust. It's where God teaches you that discernment is not suspicion. It's spiritual intelligence. You've been burned before because you trusted too fast, because you saw potential instead of patterns. But now, heaven is refining you. You've grown sharper, calmer, wiser. And when God tells you not to trust that new person, He's not just protecting your heart, He's protecting your calling. Some connections look harmless, but carry spiritual toxins. Some compliments are really data collection. Every word, every question, every "I understand you" is sometimes a seed planted with quiet intent. This is not fear, it's awareness. You're not closing your heart, you're cleansing your circle. When you remain still, the wrong ones reveal themselves. Their words lose rhythm, their interest fades, and their motives begin to leak through the cracks. That's why the enemy hates patient souls, because time is truth's best friend. God said, "Be still," because stillness is where revelation blooms. When you stop chasing, pretending, or forcing, you make room for clarity. You let energy speak before people do. Pay attention to what happens when you say no. Watch who gets offended when you set boundaries. The genuine will respect it, but the false will guilt you. They'll twist your silence into arrogance, your peace into distance, your growth into betrayal. But you owe no explanation for obeying divine instruction. God is not teaching you to be suspicious, He's teaching you to be selective. Because when your purpose expands, your access must shrink. Not everyone deserves the backstage of your becoming. This is your season to trust less with your ears and more with your energy. Watch what your peace does around them. If it dims, that's all the evidence you need. If your sleep feels lighter when they're gone, that's confirmation. If your thoughts feel clearer when you step back, that's deliverance. You're not crazy, chosen one. You are protected. God's warning didn't come to isolate you. It came to insulate you. The world may call it paranoia, but heaven calls it preparation. Be still long enough to let truth surface, and when it does, you'll see that some people were never friends, just lessons in disguise. The hardest thing, chosen one, is learning that not everyone who smiles at you carries peace. Some people come wrapped in charm, but carry spiritual chaos beneath their skin. God said, "Do not trust that new person. Be still." Because the moment you slow down, the illusion begins to break. You start to notice the inconsistencies, the subtle patterns, the strange timing of their concern. One day they admire you, the next day they compete with you. One moment they're a listener, the next they're a mirror reflecting what you want to see. The stillness God asks for is not to make you suspicious. It's to give Him space to reveal what your emotions try to ignore. Stillness is a filter for truth. You've grown too much to be tricked by surface-level kindness. You used to think that being good-hearted meant trusting easily, forgiving endlessly, and explaining repeatedly. But this time, you are different. You understand that love without boundaries becomes self-betrayal, and God won't let His chosen ones live in self-betrayal anymore. You've been chosen for clarity, not confusion. You've been chosen to see behind the mask before the damage begins. That new person who appeared in your life might have been the final test before your elevation, a test to see if you can discern energy without needing evidence. When you stay still, you let heaven handle what your hands can't. You let time expose what flattery tries to hide. The same person who rushed into your life will soon reveal why. Watch their consistency. False connections always crave constant validation. They'll panic when they realize they can't control you. But your peace is no longer negotiable. You've sacrificed too much, healed too hard, prayed too long to let another counterfeit spirit drain what God restored. The chosen ones are light, but even light must learn when to dim itself around deceit. There's a holy reason you're being asked to move slower, speak less, and listen deeper. The stillness that God commands is the silence before revelation. It's the divine pause that separates what's meant for you from what's meant to destroy you. When you ignore the pressure to rush, you give heaven permission to work. And when heaven works, truth has no place to hide. Suddenly, the new person who seemed magnetic begins to slip. Their tone shifts. Their behavior becomes inconsistent. They react to your boundaries with offense instead of understanding. That's your sign. The spiritual mask is falling. You don't need confrontation to see their heart. You just need stillness. Stillness forces the false to reveal themselves because falsehood cannot breathe without attention. Your calm makes them uncomfortable. Your silence makes them show their true nature. So remain silent and observe. Let their impatience become their confession. God is showing you that discernment is not about paranoia. It's about peace. You are being trained to protect your destiny by trusting your intuition over your impulse. Not everyone who enters your story deserves a chapter. Some were only meant to teach you to close the book sooner. The silence before the storm always feels strange, doesn't it, chosen one? That calm space where you know something is shifting, where your soul stands still between revelation and release. God said, "Do not trust that new person. Be still." And as you obeyed, things began to show themselves. You started to see the cracks in their smiles, the weight behind their words, the subtle envy hidden in their curiosity. What once felt comforting now feels calculated. Their energy doesn't flow, it pulls. Their support doesn't strengthen, it drains. This is what divine awareness feels like. Clarity that hurts, but saves. You are not losing people. You are losing illusions. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming wise. This season of stillness is not punishment. It's refinement. It's where God separates your emotions from your discernment. He's showing you that loyalty must no longer be blind, that trust must now be earned. The chosen ones used to rescue everyone, forgive instantly, and believe easily. But those days are over. Your spirit has graduated. The new you doesn't chase peace, you protect it. You no longer confuse chemistry with connection or attention with intention. When God told you to be still, He wasn't taking away movement. He was redirecting it. He was pulling you away from distractions that looked divine, but were designed to delay your purpose. You'll notice it soon. The same person who once wanted your attention will grow frustrated by your silence. They'll try to provoke you, pull you back into conversation, or use guilt to reopen closed doors. But don't move. Be still. When you no longer react, you take their power away. Stillness is not weakness. It's warfare. It's how God fights through you without you saying a word. The enemy cannot imitate peace for long. Counterfeits crumble in quiet. Your distance is doing more than you think. It's protecting your destiny from contamination. Understand this. When God removes someone from your path, He often allows discomfort first. That discomfort isn't punishment. It's revelation. It's how He reveals the heart behind the face, the motive behind the smile. You prayed for discernment, and this is how it comes, not as a gentle whisper, but as a holy warning. That's why you feel heavy around them now. It's your spirit saying, don't go further. So obey. You don't owe anyone access to your peace. You don't need to explain the silence. You don't even need to close the door. Just stop walking through it. And while you wait in that divine stillness, something powerful is happening. The more you withdraw your energy, the clearer your vision becomes. You start to see who genuinely cares, who silently roots for you, and who only benefits from your distraction. God is reshaping your circle, refining your focus, and restoring your spiritual sensitivity. The people meant to walk with you will find peace in your pauses. The ones who were pretending will vanish when they realize they can't manipulate your movement. That is the divine divide, the point where truth separates from imitation. Be still, chosen one. The revelation is not over yet. Chosen one, the storm has passed, and in the silence that follows, you can finally hear your own soul again. What once confused you now feels so clear. God said, do not trust that new person. Be still, and now you understand why. You see how quickly masks fall when you stop feeding them attention. You see how your energy, once scattered, has returned to you like waves finding their shore. There's no chaos in your spirit anymore, just clarity. What you lost wasn't love, it was illusion. What left wasn't divine, it was distraction. Every unanswered message, every ignored invitation, every moment of restraint, it all protected your peace. You didn't miss out on anything. You escaped something that would have delayed everything. There's a strange beauty in stillness. At first, it feels empty, like the world has gone quiet, like nothing is happening. But beneath that silence, heaven is moving. God hides His loudest miracles inside quiet seasons. While you were questioning, He was confirming. While you were waiting, He was removing. While you were silent, He was speaking in ways you didn't yet understand. The stillness He asked for wasn't punishment. It was protection. You had to step back so he could step in. And now, look at you. Stronger, sharper, no longer naive to counterfeit peace. Your spirit has matured. You've learned that discernment isn't about mistrusting people. It's about trusting God more. You'll notice now how light your energy feels without that person's shadow. You'll realize how your dreams began to flow again, how your nights feel restful, how your creativity returned. That's what happens when the wrong connection breaks. You realign with divine current. And it's not because they were evil. It's because their assignment in your life was never permanent. Some people are allowed into your life only to reveal a lesson, not to live in your destiny. Their presence was the test, and your stillness was the answer. You pass the test not by reacting, but by restraining. That is the mastery of the chosen ones. Strength without noise, clarity without conflict. Now, God is sending replacements, people who mirror your growth, not your past. Connections that feel peaceful from the start, not confusing. Conversations that feed your spirit instead of draining it. You'll feel the difference instantly because you've learned to recognize vibration over vocabulary. Your soul will no longer fall for masks that speak well, but vibrate wrong. Stillness rewired your discernment. It reprogrammed your heart. You won't need to ask, is this person right for me? Your peace will tell you. The same stillness that once felt lonely now feels like power, because you know now. Silence is where angels whisper and truth finally breathes. God said, do not trust that new person. Be still. And by obeying, you unlocked a higher level of awareness. You learned that some battles are won by silence, some betrayals are blessings in disguise, and some exits are evidence that heaven heard your prayers. You're not who you were before this lesson. You're wiser now, calmer, unshakable. You no longer seek approval from people who were never assigned to your purpose. The next time someone new appears in your path, you won't panic or rush. You'll pause. You'll observe. You'll let peace speak first, because you know now. Stillness is not doing nothing. It's letting God do everything. The revelation has settled, the truth has unfolded, and the chosen one has risen in quiet power. Chosen one, the silence you kept was not weakness, it was sacred strength. You obeyed when God said, do not trust that new person, be still. And heaven took notice. You didn't fight back. You didn't explain yourself. You didn't try to prove anything. And that's exactly what exposed the truth. Stillness is not the absence of action. It's the loudest declaration that your peace is not for sale. You've seen it now, how masks dissolve when attention fades, how intentions surface when energy withdraws. The same people who called you distant were only angry because your silence removed their control. You didn't lose them. You lost access to confusion. And God smiled at your restraint, because silence, in the hands of the chosen, is divine warfare. Every time you felt the urge to reach out, but didn't. Every time you resisted the temptation to explain. Every moment you chose quiet over chaos. You were aligning with heaven's strategy. What you thought was stillness was actually spiritual motion. God was shifting the atmosphere, closing doors, cleansing frequencies, and clearing the path for what's next. The pain you felt was the sound of separation. The loneliness was detox. And now you stand in a place where peace finally feels like home. You understand that protection sometimes feels like rejection, but in time, you see that God was never taking something from you. He was taking you out of something. Look around you now. The storm has calmed, the noise has faded, and your intuition no longer trembles. It glows. The same silence that once scared you now feels sacred. You can hear your own spirit again. You no longer rush to fix what fell apart. You let it stay broken because you finally see that not everything deserves restoration. The person God warned you about may still be watching, still pretending, still waiting for a reaction, but your peace is no longer accessible to them. That's your victory. You won the invisible war by doing nothing but obeying. You passed the test that many fail, the test of stillness. This was never about them. It was about you learning how to move in silence while God moves in power. You were being trained to lead with energy, not emotion, to recognize truth without needing confrontation, to trust the whisper more than the words. That's what separates the chosen ones. You don't chase validation. You wait for revelation. You've learned that some warnings are not meant to make you fearful. They're meant to make you focused. You've learned that God's voice will never compete with noise. It speaks softly so only the obedient can hear it. And you heard it, chosen one. You listened. You obeyed. Now the reward begins. Every silent night is about to bloom into visible confirmation. The stillness you maintained has rewritten your path. God is sending peace where confusion lived, clarity where questions lingered, and divine alliances where deception tried to enter. The lesson has been learned, the warning fulfilled, the danger past. From this moment on, your discernment will not just protect you, it will guide you into purpose. You will trust again, but differently. You will love again, but wisely. You will give again, but never blindly. The false has been filtered out, and only truth remains. Stand tall in your silence, radiant in your awareness, and remember, God's greatest miracles begin where the chosen one finally stands still,